live. Don't be talking yet.
But this side's online.
But we're live now.
Hi, everybody. We're live everywhere. We're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube.
Crazy chaos here. Went it live on Facebook.
Yeah, it is funny. Just so they can see what we go through. We need to have like a before and after the show
We don't need to have any of those things.
We do, because that's when all the good stuff happens. There are some arguments.
All the good things happen before the show and after the show, not during the show?
During the show, but then there's some fighting, some infighting here.
There's a lot of infighting because someone is never ready and doesn't do what she's supposed to do.
No, I'm ready. But then the dog gets in my way.
Do not blame the dog.
Or the cat. I'm having to chase the cat out of the room.
Don't blame that poor innocent animal for your nonsense.
He was licking my pants. I don't know why. It's bizarre.
I licked your pants.
That's weird.
You don't think it's weird when I do it?
Where's my coaster?
I guess it fell. I don't know.
How rude. Anyways, hello. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Thank you for watching us live on YouTube and on Facebook. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram. And be sure you check out our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. Thank you.
It's been an interesting weekend to say the least.
Man, it's been cray.
Hold on, I need to share something real quick. So I guess we got 2 Blu-rays to talk about. We got a couple theatrical films. The original plan was to also talk about AllCon, which is now known as Almost Con.
Yeah. Poor thing. It got canceled.
Got shut down.
Shut down. Honestly. Yeah, not canceled.
It didn't get canceled. It got shut down.
We're going to talk about it. By Corona.
Yeah, by the coronavirus. So literally there was only one day of the con, and then a lot of the people that were already at the hotel stayed around, and they were still having like their own little mini con.
Well, I would have gone if I'd known that, I guess.
Well, I didn't realize they were doing that.
Some board games.
I just turned to you. I didn't realize they were doing that, or we would have gone out there. It wasn't until like a few days later I saw people posting that they were out there still hanging out, because a lot of them had booked the hotels for the weekend.
Yeah, and people drive in for this. So
so they kind of did their own thing, and we'll talk about more AllCon, because I want to give them big props to the show, because they're doing really great stuff. They're doing all they can, really. Yeah, they reacted fast. They did a lot of good stuff. They were trying to do different things to save the show for next year. I think they're doing like a June kind of a makeup fun get together to give everybody the party time. But they're struggling, but they're also there's been like a GoFundMe thing, like a recovery from, because while it's a big con, it's a smaller con, because it's not, I don't think it's run by financial backers and corporations. It's individuals, and they rely on this year to run next year, and so on. And so people are going to have to get refunds. You know, some people are donating their tickets that they paid for to just say, keep the money, we'll buy new tickets next time.
Yeah.
Some people are carrying over, say, well, just keep my thing, we'll go for the next show.
Yeah.
Some people, there's a lot of variables that are helping them out, I think, and so we want to do whatever we can, and we'll talk about, we're doing our own thing that we'll talk about that later in the show.
Okay, sounds good.
So anyways, we got a couple of animated films to talk about, and we got a couple of theatrical films to talk about. What would you like to talk about first?
Tell me, let's start with one of yours that you saw.
Well, there's only one of the 4 we did not see together.
Oh, well, what did we see together?
We saw 2 in the theater together. One animated one we watched today.
Ah.
And then I saw the other animated that you never watched.
Just pick one. I don't care. Dealer's choice. Pick this one.
There is nothing there.
I know.
You just picked the table. So let's talk about this table. It's a lovely black matte finish. Well, here, I'll talk about the one you didn't watch. She was supposed to watch it, but because of the destruction of the American society chaos with the coronavirus, her whole job went into an uproar.
It's been rough.
Like everybody, her job went into crazy town. My job went into crazy town, and there's a lot of stuff happening. So we still try to movies that keep you entertained, and this is the time to watch those movies and support those streaming services, because now you can entertain yourself and keep you hopefully calm and at peace at some point. But also support your local business. Don't just be going to the big market stuff. Go to little restaurants. Go to different places. Go eat Chinese food. Go to the Asian markets. Go to the places that nobody else is going to because they want to blame other people.
Yeah. Don't be a hater.
Now, I'm not saying take 75 people and go hang out in society all day long.
Hold on now.
But these businesses are going to go out. Places are going to go out of business.
Somebody's coming over. So sorry. Can you move over? Okay. But make sure you stay in the frame on this one.
I will not be pushed around. Okay. So anyway, the first one I'm going to talk about is the animated film Spies in Disguise.
Oh, that's cool.
Starring Tom Holland and Will Smith. If you don't know the story, it's a movie about a spy who he's like a super spy. It's played by Will Smith.
Yeah.
And he's running around and he gets gets framed. So he's trying to find help, and the only person he can get help from is this one little nerdy, kind of like the Q, the character Q in James Bond that makes all the gadgets.
He's the gadget guy.
He's one of those guys, but he always messes stuff up and makes stupid gadgets. And so he had gotten fired, but he's the only one he can trust. So he goes back to him. And shenanigans ensue, and the spy gets turned into a pigeon. So now it's the nerdy guy and the pigeon, and now they're trying to not only clear his name, but also turn him back into a human. And that's the theme of our movie. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
It does, but it seems fun.
It is a very fun movie. I don't know how well it did. I didn't really research it, but I can tell you this: I had a blast with it. It's not the whole pigeon thing. I thought, well, okay, this can be really stupid, but it works in some weird, stupid way. It's fun. The animation and the visuals are excellent, and it's vibrant and exciting.
What studio did their what animation?
It's 20th Century Fox.
Oh, okay.
Did this one. So who was it? I don't remember. Oh, the same people that did Ice Age and Rio and that kind of stuff.
Okay, then yeah.
Blue Sky. Is that what it is? Isn't it Blue Sky Entertainment? Yeah, Blue Sky Studios did it. So they always do some really nice animation.
I like their stuff.
Visually, it's great animation. The story, I mean, it's silly and retarded a little bit and goofy, and so it doesn't bring a lot of brand new things to the animated film feature. It's a lot of stuff you've seen before, jokes you've seen before, but still, it was a ton of fun. It had a lot of action, some great characters. The banter between Will Smith and Tom Holland is great. They did a great job of selling that stuff. So Spies in Disguise is available now. It was a lot of fun. Not much else to say about it. It's just another animated feature. What about that? I don't care about that. I haven't even watched season 2. Anyway, so check it out. It's available now from 20th Century Fox.
That's all I had.
You keep moving. I was acting like I froze.
Oh.
You mess that up every time.
You know what? My bad.
Anyway, so why don't you tell us about your movie?
A link to the review.
You should have been doing that already and not looking at the other crap you were looking at.
I wasn't looking at
You should have been doing that while I was talking to you.
Whatever.
You're too busy doing shenanigans. All right, why don't you talk about your movie you watched?
This one right here? Hold on. So, I'm trying to finish.
I realize that these are basically become my sodas now.
I know, it really has, and I love them.
If you don't know it, we're drinking clear American water.
Sparkling water.
Sparkling water.
It's bubbles.
And it's got 0 calories, 0 caffeine, 0 sugar, 0 sodium, and probably a bunch of aspartame.
Yeah, probably. That's okay.
But I don't care. We don't drink it all the time.
This is my one special drink a day.
Oh, no, I drink more than one a day.
Oh, I only drink one a day.
I try to cut them down on purpose because I'm trying not to just drink these. I drink regular water 90% of the time.
Yeah, I drink plain water too.
We're like training all the time now. If you haven't noticed how svelte we appear.
Look.
If you don't notice that we appear svelte, then go back and look at old shows. You can see how.
Can you tell?
I don't think anybody
can
tell.
From our faces?
No, I think they look exactly.
Anyway,
I think we look just as gross as we did before.
So, something special and exciting came out. At least to me, it was.
I think they have this. I thought you were about to tell me about something else.
We have this special collector's edition 10 Commandments, and it has the 1923 black and white silent film version, which is actually really cool. And then it has the 1956 version with Charlton Heston that is probably the most familiar to everybody. So we're going to talk about the 10 Commandments. Oh, the 15.
The 15.
Oh,
it's like the 15 crash.
The 10 Commandments. Okay,
if you don't know what we're talking about, then how dare you?
It's a different movie. Anyway, so got to watch the black and white silent film for the first time, which I didn't even know existed. And I really enjoyed it. It was really good. So
is it a silent film?
It is a silent film, so it's one of those.
Is it actually silent, or does it have?
It has music,
but it cuts to the little narrative of the dialogue.
It's not a talkie.
But it cuts to the dialogue.
Yeah, it has a little box of this one will have like a Bible verse or whatever, and then it goes to the story.
Does it show any dialogue?
It does, like when the lady's like.
Yeah, it does that.
And then it's like.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it'll show like another Bible verse and continue the story because it's based on.
But is the majority of the movie literally just silent storytelling?
It is.
Or does it not show a lot of dialogue, the print?
No, a lot of it is silent. I mean, it'll give just like, and then Pharaoh did this to the people. And then you'll show the, like.
So how long is the original movie? Because I know this one, the Charlton Heston one's like 75 hours long.
It's 3.5 hours, which actually is nothing nowadays, but back then.
Right, but at the time. But how long is the other one?
Like an hour, maybe.
Okay, so it's short, because they're kind of jumping over all the stuff that.
So
you normally act out and scenery stuff. And
so it's kind of a dual thing. So the black and white version ends, and then it goes into a modern black and white story. It's a talkie, and it's now two brothers who one is very much believing
in the same movie.
Yeah, it cuts and that the Caesar Pharaoh thing. It's not Caesar Pharaoh.
Did they add something new later?
No, and then the second half of the movie is about a modern day family.
Right, but I guess what I'm confused about is if it came out at the time of silent films, did they shoot all that back then as well? In color and
I don't even know.
Did you not read that booklet it came with?
Yeah. It has a fancy booklet inside.
You didn't say anything about that?
Yeah. So it was interesting how they made it a silent film, but then you go into the story of these two brothers and the mother, and I feel like it was the mother telling them the story, the Bible story. And then you get into the two brothers who one is very much like, I'm going to live my life and be a rebel. I don't believe in God and 10 Commandments. And the other one's very much, oh, you need to
So they're the same two actors? Both sets?
I feel like this dude was. I don't know. That part to me was a little bizarre. So I didn't finish all of that. But the interesting and amazing thing to me is knowing that Cecil B. DeMille...
This looks like it was black and white. So they must have colorized it maybe.
Maybe. Knowing that Cecil B. DeMille did both the black and white silent film and then the 1956 Charlton Heston film, it's interesting because they spent as much time and money on the sets. They were still similarly huge and amazing. Some of them are kind of the same on the outside exactly.
I forgot Vincent Price was in this.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
A very young Vincent Price.
Yes.
They spent a lot of time on the costumes and the makeup and the black and white silent film, which you can tell. And so to me, that is just like amazing.
How is it?
Amazing. Because the quality of the film didn't change. And I think that is what, to me, is like a revelation. I mean, we don't get to see that many movies from the 20s and 30s, but that they spent that much time and effort. They really cared, and they were like laying the real foundation of great movie storytelling. You know, like it was there. The makeup was there. The costumes was there. And even though you didn't get to hear dialogue, you still get the same impression you do with a normal movie now. And I think that's one of the things you and I have talked about, even like in animated films or cartoons or whatever. You don't need the dialogue because the storytelling is so good. You know what's happening. You don't have to have words. It doesn't have to be a talkie.
It's like our relationship.
Right? Because there was a movie we saw the other day with some animated thing, and we're like, man, you don't even have to have words. It's just like, oh, it was the Shaun the Sheep. You don't Shaun the Sheep. You don't need dialogue because the storytelling is that good. But then we get to the version that probably most people are familiar with, which is Charlton Heston and Yul Brynner. Okay, so
sorry, I'm actually looking up something about the old movie, so you keep going.
You guys know I didn't watch a lot of movies, but this is one of the movies I do remember watching because my dad's a pastor. So this was like allowed in my house. So there were not many movies that were allowed, but religious films were one of them. And I think my dad was a big fan of Yul Brynner because he liked him in that where he was a cowboy with the black hat. I don't know what movie that is. And then, so he liked Yul Brynner. And then I think he liked Charlton Heston. I'm aware Charlton Heston has the overacting gene. I get it. I still liked him. And this is actually one of my favorite movies, I guess. I've always liked it. And to me, watching it as a child, it was like amazing. I'm going to say amazing. I like that you keep going, amazing. Oh, amazing.
This is going to be, we're going to have t-shirts made now that just says amazing.
Hollywood Matrimony.
It's going to be amazing.
Amazing. No, but it was impactful to me because as a child, seeing like, oh my gosh, that Moses is really from here, and then you're like, what?
You're like, oh my gosh.
No, because then you're like,
what you said as a kid? You looked TV and you were like, oh my gosh.
I probably did, and then the water turns to blood. You know, water turns to blood, and then death is killing everybody, and there's plagues, and I'm like,
played by William Sadler, from the same guy that played him in whatever, Bill and Ted.
It was totally
awesome.
No,
well, do you want to hear?
I just found this to be a hugely impactful
I just found
film.
This interesting thing. You want to?
Yes.
Let me tell you how they made the Red Sea. How they filmed the Red Sea.
I know that part.
Tell me.
It was in a giant tank.
Nope.
Wasn't? I thought it was a tank.
No, in the 1923 version.
Oh, that part I don't know. The new version was a giant tank.
It says the effect of parting of the Red Sea was created by placing 2 blocks of blue gelatin side by side, heating them until they melted, then running the footage in reverse.
Oh, that is so smart. Good job. Well, and even, I liked the new one.
Most of the chariot crashes in the prologue were real and unplanned.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Anyways, this is just one of my favorite movies. I think because it reminds me of being with the family, and we'd watch it a lot. I've seen it like a gazillion times. And I told you when we got this new collector's edition, I was like, I'll just forward to some different scenes to see what the effects are. I watched the whole thing, you guys.
It took her 17 days, but
it took 2 days.
This goes back.
No, but you know what I did like too? I like the old style of going to the movies. You have your opening overture, and they're playing the music, and I can imagine me being in my fancy dress with my gloves and sitting down.
That part would annoy me.
Yeah, because you'd have to wear.
Well, not even because of what I have to wear is one of the things I hate most is I'm not a suit guy. Obviously, you've always seen me in t-shirts. I don't even wear pants most of the time. I wear shorts. I'm essentially a Kevin Smith kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't wear jorts, but I wear shorts. But I don't like having to sit anywhere for very long confined. So it would I could not live in the time when people dressed up to take a plane, when people dress up to go to the theater, because I'd be sitting there the whole time going.
Yeah, so I'd be there, and then then you get to intermission, and I can get up and be.
But I do like movies. I like that experience. Like I do like the intermission, like
that roadshow thing we did.
Yeah, what was it? The Hateful Eight roadshow. When Quentin Tarantino's movie had the intermission, I thought that was a great.
It was really
and we got to see it in the 70mm. I thought it was a great experience.
We got up, you walk around, come back. It was fun.
Yeah, that part is awesome. I don't mind that kind of stuff. It's just I don't want to have to be. I want to be comfortable. I know I want to be sitting there for a long time. I don't even want to sit in a suit like at my own wedding.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
I did, but I did it under protest. I'm still in negotiation with my daughter.
Wow. About wearing a suit to her wedding.
Yeah, I told her I was going to wear shorts.
Anyways, check out the 10 Commandments. I like it. It's based on the Bible story of Moses and Pharaoh. And or, if you're me, the true life story of Moses and Pharaoh. I will allow whatever you believe in. But it's actually really good. And I liked the effects. I think it was good for its time. And I don't remember who it is that does the narration, but I liked his little voice. I loved Yul Brynner, and I liked the lady that played Nefertiti, whatever her name is.
Nefertiti?
Yes, Nefertiti.
If you scroll back to the back, okay, there it is.
This lady.
I should tell you. Ann Baxter.
Ann Baxter. She was so pretty.
Thank you.
So nice. Anyways, I liked all these people. That guy's a sleazeball. Love him. I love the dude that was Joshua. This is like one of my favorite movies. I'm not saying I would watch it over and over, but I have. I've watched it probably.
This is the first time I've ever seen you watch this movie since we've known each other.
Really? No, I've watched it since then. I probably watched it at church on a movie night.
Maybe you've done that.
I've maybe seen it total 10, 11 times.
For being your favorite movie.
One of your favorite movies.
That's pretty not very many.
It's not like Chef, which I've watched probably 30 times.
That's weird.
I love that movie too.
You don't like Jesus as much as you like food, apparently.
No. Well, that's what got me into this situation.
And the 10 Commandments Collector's Edition is available now from Paramount. Yeah, Paramount Home Entertainment. Let's make sure I forgot. It just dawned on me. So if you like the religious films or just like great cinema.
Or Yul Brynner.
Yeah, or really Charlton Heston. He's in Westworld.
Yes. But he was also in
The King and I.
And where was the one where he's the cowboy? Is that what I'm thinking?
That's Westworld. Yeah.
Well, my dad liked.
I think he did other westerns and stuff too.
Yeah, my dad liked him in the westerns.
Yeah, that wasn't really a western. He played a robot.
This was obviously before Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Yul Brynner's not in Planet of the Apes.
No, I'm saying Charlton Heston. Come on.
Planet of the Apes was 70.
Okay, yeah, this is the 50s.
No, 60.
So this
66?
It was right before this, probably. This is 50.
When is it? 66 or 69? The original Planet of the Apes.
We'll find out right now. I'm going to start watching all of those movies again.
Why?
Just because I want to.
Yeah,
no, we're not.
Yes, we do.
We're going to be self-quarantined pretty soon. or mandatory quarantine at the way we're going.
Why are you looking over here? There's nothing over there that says Planet of the Apes. You know it's called Planet of the Apes.
Charles.
Don't look up Charlton Heston. Type in Planet of the Apes. I want to know, is it 66 or 69?
Apes. Neither.
None of those.
68.
It was in between.
Close.
All right.
Anyways, check it out. 10 Commandments. There you go.
Boom shakalaka. All right. So now do you want to talk about one of the theatrical films we saw, or this other animated one?
Let's talk about a theatrical movie.
Okay. Well, we have a new comic book film, and we also have a technically controversial film. Which of the two would you like to see?
Let's go in order. We saw this one first.
There's no order.
I like to go in the order in which they were viewed. It helps me remember.
It doesn't help you anything because you don't know.
I don't know what we're talking about.
All right. So you want to talk about the comic book film?
Yes, I didn't realize this was a comic book until you told me, and I know nothing about it except that he doesn't look like the character.
So the latest film that is not a Fast and Furious movie or a Riddick movie from Vin Diesel is him taking on the character of Bloodshot, which is a Valiant Comics character. If you don't know Valiant Comics, they also did Man of War. They did Bloodshot. They did some other ones I don't remember because I was never a big Ninjak. They basically
Valiant. That's a whole.
It's a whole other universe of comics. And now they did. The only reason I was introduced to them back in the day outside, I knew they existed. I knew the characters.
Magnificent Seven. That's what my dad liked.
I knew the characters and stuff because they existed. I didn't read a lot of their books. I just wasn't a fan. Don't know why. You know, it's kind of like the hip hop thing is I'm more West Coast than East Coast, but I know this existence and that kind of stuff. Very much a similar thing. I was big Image and Marvel and some DC when I was a kid. It's kind of shifted over time. But Valiant kind of came out and exploded with all these different characters and titles. Bloodshot was one of the basically their Punisher-esque type character, which uses the guns, but also had nanotechnology and that kind of stuff. I read Bloodshot now. Valiant kind of made a resurgence. They were gone for years, and now they've come back, and they're relaunching all their books. And what is wrong? He's snoring. Oh.
I don't even know how he's sleeping. He's sleeping like...
They've relaunched their book, started relaunching their books, Quantum and Woody, and they've got a new Bloodshot book, new Man of War book, Rai, which is kind of a Bloodshot spinoff, but it's like a futuristic version, like ninja type samurai version of Bloodshot. So anyway, the new Vin Diesel movie Bloodshot is kind of ideally was meant to kick off a new Valiant universe, cinematic universe. The way it did this weekend, I'm not sure that's going to happen. We don't know if it's just because of the ratings, because they didn't get that good of ratings.
Did it not?
But also the box office was crap this weekend because of all this virus stuff.
People don't want to go out.
I think even Onward only made I want to say it was like $15 million in its second weekend, which was a massive drop. Or I could be wrong on that, but on the flip side, I think Bloodshot only cost about $45 million, even though I think it only made like $9 million this weekend. But there's two problems with the theaters, if you don't know. Outside of the coronavirus and people's fear to go to the movies or whatnot, theaters are also only selling half of the tickets to the theaters because they're trying to keep social distancing. Yeah, they're trying to keep space. So if it's a 500-seat theater, they're only selling 250 tickets. So that's automatically going to cut the box office in half that it might have been. We don't know if it would have even done well. So I know it may get an extra help because I know they were hoping that this would kick off the new franchise. They didn't do anything in the movie really to kick off the franchise other than just introduce Bloodshot and do that story. So I read the new Bloodshot book only because Brett Booth draws it or did. Now he's not, and I'm debating if I want to keep reading or not. But it is good. But you knew nothing about him.
I know nothing about
the trailer, and you like Vin Diesel. So
I like Vin Diesel.
Let's hear your thoughts on it first.
I guess my first.
Well, you want to tell everybody what it's about, or can you?
Oh, yeah. So Bloodshot, the man has been...
And try to do it without a spoiler.
Genetically altered, which you see in the trailer. And it looks like from the trailer he can't be killed. He was killed and then brought back to life as part of the program. Well, whatever. And so he's been altered and enhanced, I guess, is a good word. With nanites. Yes. The trailer. And they send him on a quest to kill the man who killed his wife. Yeah. But as you see in the trailer, we don't really know what's real and not real and who really killed his wife, and mystery ensues from there. There you go. I don't want to spoil it. My first thing that both you and I noticed is Vin Diesel is just Vin Diesel. He is the Jimmy Stewart of this generation. Man, he shows up in his wife beater t-shirt
Well, it's funny because
and a black shirt with black jeans. He only has 2 outfits.
The movie opens and he's in full fatigue military uniform and he's doing the whole mission. He comes home. He's at the airport. He's going to see his lady. So he takes his camo jacket off and he's wearing the wife beater. I leaned over to her and I'm like, does that man own one shirt?
He owns one shirt.
But
because then later, though, he's in the same thing from Fast and Furious, which is a black T-shirt and black jeans and boots. I mean,
here's the thing, though.
He only owns 2 outfits in his entire movie career.
Here's the thing: is as much as it drives me crazy, he is kind of the epitome of the old 80s, 90s action star.
Yeah, I mean, he just does what he does.
The big difference, though, is Van Damme and Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Chuck Norris and all them. They pretty much were the same in every movie, but those guys at least mixed up their looks. You know what I mean? Like they might cut their hair different.
Yeah.
They might have a different outfit. They may do this. He is Vin Diesel, except for Last Witch Hunter.
Well, in that lawyer movie,
the Find Me Guilty movie, and Man Apart, I think it was called, when he was like the cop with Lorenz Tate and stuff. Those are the few movies that it was different.
Mm-mm.
But
he showed up.
Riddick, Fast and Furious, and now this. He's in the same outfit.
Toretto just showed up in this movie.
Yeah, he was Toretto in the movie essentially.
I'm like, man,
which didn't bother me.
It was just bad. It was a little bit comical.
Yeah, it's humorous because it's like, come on, man.
Because we know. And so then I feel like there was one costume where he was wearing like a tank top, but it was white with black stripes. I was like, ooh, they changed to
got the fancy tank top.
Ooh.
Okay, well,
poor thing.
So moving on.
That is not his
what
fault,
did you think about the movie itself?
Department.
Well, he probably said, "This is what I want to wear."
I guess, but
his look is trying to wear something to show off his muscles. He's very Schwarzenegger.
Why doesn't he go shirtless though? Because you were telling me the comic book character shirtless.
And you're looking at the picture. That's what he looks like. Yes, the character.
Not that I'm trying to objectify.
No. But the character is usually wearing like military pants and combat boots, right? He's usually got these strap things on him that have like pockets and his gun holsters kind of thing, and no shirt, and he's got like the red circle on his chest.
Yeah.
And his body is completely white and his eyes are red.
I'm looking at it right here.
And then he normally has like a flat top.
Like a military
Like if this movie was made in the 80s or 90s, like Schwarzenegger would have been the perfect casting of it. Because if you did Commando Schwarzenegger, paint him white, give him the red contacts, you have Bloodshot.
Got it.
Right? He's bigger than Bloodshot probably was, but because Bloodshot was more of a like a leaner muscle mass kind of thing. Van Damme could have probably done him too.
Yeah.
If you take the Guile from Street Fighter Van Damme and put all the same stuff on him, he probably would look like him too. But yeah, I don't know why the whole thing of not wearing the shirt, although it wouldn't make as much sense for the story they're telling. It'd be like, why is he never wearing a shirt? And I think part of it might honestly be it's not a well-known character.
Oh, maybe so.
Because there's a lot of people that don't know Valiant Comics. You know, the mainstream public doesn't know Bloodshot. You know, it's not like here's Spider-Man. Everybody knows who Spider-Man or Superman or Batman is. So you can get away with stuff, and then they know if you changed it or if it's the same thing or not. Bloodshot, everybody's like, who? You know, it's Vin Diesel. You know, and I've even read some reviews that they were like,
the dog tooted.
They were like, it's just Vin Diesel playing Vin Diesel, and this is a dumb concept for a movie. And you know, who cares about that? Not knowing, no mention of it, knowing it's a comic book. You know. Well,
that's the thing. You got to do your research, people. And that's why I was like, why is this guy here? There's a theater experience, but my person that I do not like.
Her arch enemy we've talked about on this show.
My nemesis.
And he doesn't even know he's her nemesis. It's just on her, just to her now. So okay, so as a whole, what did you think of the film?
As a whole, I really enjoyed it. I liked the movie. I thought it was really good. I understood what was happening. I understood the science and the nanite or whatever, and everything else that was going on. I got it. I liked the characters. So to me, it was fine. I don't have a problem, but I also don't know the comic. So I'm sure if you are a fan of the comic, it was wrong.
Well, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to be that person. I've never read the original book, but I do know the story.
Yeah.
I don't know it in and out and all the characters and whatnot, but I know the gist of it.
Yeah.
So I think they got it pretty accurate. Yeah. I don't think it. I doubt it was the exact same story. You know. Yeah. I enjoyed the movie too. I have some issues with it. Like one of my biggest issues is I didn't even mind the wife beater or the T-shirt.
Yeah,
that look. I didn't mind that part. I don't know why it has bothered me that he didn't have hair.
Oh.
Because I know Vin Diesel always has the bald look. That's what Vin Diesel looks like. But I've seen him in other things.
Where he has hair.
Where he has hair, and given that's when he had hair, but like Find Me Guilty, he didn't have hair. I think he had like a little toupee type thing that he wore for the movie.
Was that lawyer movie?
Yeah. And yes, the movie, he looks weird with hair, but if you had slapped the flat top on him and then gave him that skin tone color, I think it might have sold it better for me. Because it really is such a small detail that shouldn't matter. But anytime I see the character, it's like if you see Annie, but she doesn't have red hair. You know what I mean? That character's drawn with red hair. And I don't care about her skin color, even though technically she's a white girl. You know, they made the Annie remake with the black people. And that's fine. The movie was bad, but just because it was a bad movie. But it's like certain things, like you don't make Superman and changes thing, you know, his crest.
Well,
it's the S.
We'll talk about that.
No, but I'm saying that's a different idea. But Batman
he can't suddenly be wearing a purple uniform.
Yeah, then it's not Superman anymore.
Right.
You know, it's just those little things to me as a comic nerd. But as a movie, I mean, I had some issues with the movie, but I still had fun with it.
There's a couple little things, but I liked Guy Pearce. He was really good in it.
He was just chewing up scenery. He looked like he was just having fun.
Yeah, he was.
And I think Vin Diesel was having a fun playing this character.
I think so too. And yeah, I liked everybody. I didn't have major issues. There were a couple little weird things, but it was fine. It was a fun movie.
My issue, I think, most of it is that the movie seemed to bypass really letting any character building happen or anything, and really just be how can we get to the next action
jump
sequence?
Into it immediately. I feel
like the beginning of like, okay, good, we're gonna get a little meat the way it was showing it, and then the way it happens, and then it just seems to be that everything is really just setting up another action sequence.
Yeah,
you know, which I'm fine with because I love action and I wanted to see more destruction. Some of the CGI didn't work for me as good, and most of that, if this movie had been made 10, 15 years ago, nobody would have said a word about the CGI. But because of what we have now, it's hard to not notice it when it doesn't go completely right. But also now knowing that it only had a $45 million budget, I think they pulled off a lot of crazy stuff for a small budget when you have something like, you know, Avengers and all this stuff with your $200 million budgets. You know, obviously you have to cut corners, not necessarily cut corners, but you know what I mean? You got to do something different. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun. I thought it was clever. There's one major sequence you see in the trailer with like a red light. The whole thing is shot in a tunnel with like flare lighting and
that
flower everywhere.
Was really good.
Yeah, I thought that whole thing was cool.
It was cool.
You know, and
they did a good job.
I did have an issue. I mean, you talked about there's some other characters in the movies that are upgraded as well, right? There's one that's really badass. There's another one that's super annoying. And we were super annoyed with him. I thought I was the only one annoyed with him. When we left, before I even said anything, she talked about how she was annoyed with him. Yeah. And sadly, the annoying guy is the one that's more front and center.
Yeah, it should have been some other characters. But whatever. I mean,
and I know we were supposed to be annoyed with him, but I'm like, he's also the one that kind of quickly explains the plot when he finally revealed.
And I did not like that at all. I told you that as soon as we got out.
Yeah, it was a big throwaway. Like he just kind of comes in, and it was more of like it was written for him to be like turning the knife to tell him what they're doing.
Like, I told you I was going to tell you.
Yeah, but I'm like,
that's dumb.
But I felt more like it was, audience, you're stupid, so we're going to tell you.
Yeah.
Right now, so we can keep fighting some more.
It was just too dumb, and it was not the appropriate way to do it, and that to me was just a letdown. So
I think it would have been better if they had it unfold and he started realizing or had flashbacks or whatever the case was.
It just, whatever. Oh well.
And everybody seemed to turn on him way too easy. You know, because you kind of go from, they're kind of a team initially when he's first brought into the program, but then all of a sudden it seems like they were with him, but with just because somebody says different, they're just against him. So there's no.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
You know, how would you even have a team to work had he not done whatever he was going to do? How would the team ever work? Because all they would have done was just fight each other. How, you know, nobody's following anybody's orders.
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird layout for all the characters, and like I said, it seemed to be really just set up so everybody just fight and beat each other up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had a blast with it.
It was fun. Just get some popcorn and go enjoy.
I sadly don't think we're going to get the Valiant movie universe, but who knows if it does really well in the coming weeks, and then on the Blu-ray market, maybe we'll get it.
Yes, and I think this is going to be a hard time for movies because, I mean, it's saying this was the worst box office weekend in 20 years because of coronavirus and theaters having to close and or limit their seating.
And I have a buddy that works at Alamo, And he said that he's now having to sell things because they've been cutting his hours because they're not getting any new movies, so they have nothing to show.
Yeah.
So they don't have hours to show people and people aren't coming. So who knows how many theaters are going to shut down if they're going to make it.
I know, and small theaters that are not a chain are not going to survive.
Yeah, I don't know if things like Alamo and stuff are going to make it because I guarantee they make most of their money on food sales and everything else.
We should go to Alamo.
There's a lot of people
make sure we sit like way far from people.
That's just kind of a small theater, so who knows? But if they're not getting a lot of new stuff, nobody's going to go. Yeah, I think the one thing Alamo has going for it is
they always have their special.
But people show up for those events? That's going to be another issue. So
I don't know. Well, and then we don't really know. I mean, reading. I don't watch the news, but I do a lot of reading. So I read some of the articles from the guy I was telling you, the infectious disease guy, the cute little man. I did see that thing on TV with him. He's a cute little old man. Anyways, that we should have.
What is it? Don't touch your face, but I keep touching my face.
Yes, but he was saying we should have been quarantining ourselves like 8 weeks ago, or 6 weeks ago. Like we totally missed the boat. So who knows what's really going to happen? But the thing is, the economy is going to go to crap because like. Small businesses may not survive.
Well, we have twofold issues. Like, if you want to forget all the conspiracy stuff and all the government's taking over and controlling us, all that's a whole different discussion.
Well, yeah, that's
but
true.
I'm not saying that's not real. That's a different discussion than what we're having. The people are causing the problem. Like, the media is making it scary and all that.
Yeah,
so I get that
they
part.
Make it worse.
But the people that are going crazy and buying everything off the shelves, and they create the shortages, And so when people are saying, oh my God, we're going to run out of this, we're running out of that, we're running out of that because everybody's buying that stuff. If people would buy just what they need.
Buy normal what you need.
And maybe one more, then we'd be fine. And, same thing happened when we had the gas shortage stuff. Everybody ran out crazed buying gas and filling up. Oh my God.
I actually needed gas.
Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, there's no more gas. Why are we running out of gas? Because everybody's buying up all the gas. And then it was over.
Yeah.
And we would have never really gone into that as bad had people just filled up their car when they needed to, and people like outside the stores are initially making bank because they're selling out of everything.
Yeah. But
then people are going to stop coming because they've got nothing else. Well, and now we're going to have I guarantee if you watch, and then we'll get back to movies, but they lifted most restrictions for truck drivers. So now truck drivers can drive longer than they used to.
No, that's
so that they can get stuff restocked that people
need.
But that's going to mean truck drivers are driving, falling asleep, having wrecks and dying and hurting other people.
Why their hours are
I don't blame the truck drivers because they want to do their job, but the restrictions are there for safety.
But it's going to affect everyone because like people that work at this, like just the people like you shut down basketball games, all the stadium workers have no job.
Yeah, well, thankfully you have people like Mark Cuban and some of the other ones have said they're going to pay But
like you teach classes at the senior center, no more senior classes.
Yeah, my senior classes. So I'm down like $400 and something dollars a month right away.
If you want to send us
if you want to send me a senior, I don't need you money. Send me a senior to teach, and I can anyway.
We're just going to live in the dark. It's fine. We'll be okay. But I mean, if it continues, and then you have no job for a couple of months, that's going to kind of suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to do this for free. And all you people that don't support us and watch us, you'll just start watching me just wither away live on the air.
Like when restaurants are empty and the servers don't get tips, I mean, it has a bigger effect. Then you can't go to the store and you can't go to work. I mean, it's going to have a big snowball effect on everything. So, okay, he's moving. Are you okay?
What is he doing?
Are you smelling your farts? Because you've been farting on. He's been farting on me.
Okay, well, let's move on and get away from the depression.
Look, he's smelling his butt. I'm telling you.
What is happening?
God.
All right, let's go back into movie time. So
next movie.
So Bloodshot is in theaters now.
Go check it out. Just buy some popcorn.
Don't be as paranoid. I'm not saying everybody needs to run out and go to the movies and stuff right now. I get it. If you have sick issues or you're worried. If you have
children or you're
You also need to mask, go hang out, live life as normal because there's stuff to be concerned about.
Be concerned.
But
be careful.
Movies are still playing. They've restricted stuff, so you should have space to sit away. And I don't think they're going to sell a lot of seats with people next to each other. I think they're going to like block off stuff.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you go to buy, say if we bought these two seats, if you go to buy them, if they say, okay, these are blocked out, you can't buy these two next to them.
Yeah, because if you notice, when we went, there were maybe 20 people in the theater, and it was like
everybody was like 2 to 3 seats away from everybody.
Yeah, I mean they had them spread out. Or maybe people are just being smart themselves and buying.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder how the theaters have that set up. Like I know they say, okay, we're only going to sell this, but I wonder if they blocked out certain seats.
Yeah.
Once seats are purchased, whatever. Anyway, so moving on. Do you want to talk about our animated one, or you want to talk about the controversial one? You want to save the controversial one for last?
Yeah, we can.
All right. So.
Hello. I'm saying hello to people.
Speaking of not changing characters, after I just had that argument. Excuse me. Oh no. We watched an animated feature that came up.
Look, if you got it, I've got it at this point.
We watched an animated feature that we want to talk about.
Yes.
It is based on
not a cartoon.
2003 Elseworlds title. 3-issue miniseries, I believe it was. It was kind of a twist on the Superman storyline origin. It's called Superman Red Sun, and it's basically the idea is what if Superman had crashed, or Kal-El had crash landed in Russia instead of the U.S. and hence became Superman of Russia. And so
interesting.
Yeah, so it's a difference. An Elseworlds title. It's not part of the normal continuity. It was a 3-issue miniseries. So you knew nothing about this.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, I think I read I don't have it, but I don't remember if I ever read it or if I just knew about it, to be honest. I remember all the imagery. I remember the book coming out. I remember going, oh, that's awesome, but I don't know if I ever really read it.
Yeah, it is actually pretty awesome.
So, without you knowing anything about it, what did you think of it, madam?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very intriguing because obviously Russia in the time period back then.
Because it was in what, the 50s?
Yeah,
in this movie,
I
50s,
mean,
60s?
Stalin's in power at this point. So it's interesting. Obviously, they don't think they're doing anything wrong. They think that obviously the socialism thing is going well. You know, everybody helps everyone else. And it's interesting, like the very beginning of the movie, when he gets his powers, which we know that happens, and his friend is like, you must tell the whoever to help all the people of the country.
So, is that your Russian accent?
That was my Russian accent.
A horrible
You
Russian
must
accent.
tell the state to help the people.
You just you sound like William Shatner more than
I
anything.
know, that's okay. But that was their mentality there
Yeah.
for the people. It's like they were trying to do what was best for everyone.
Right.
And so that is how I guess they kind of entrapped him into the life of Russia Superman, whatever his name is, Superman. But that everything he was doing was for the betterment of their country, and that all the other countries should be like them. That's where it gets cray-cray.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to slowly conquest everything.
Here's an issue I've always had, and I'm not saying that there's not good guys and bad guys.
Yeah.
But the reality of a lot of things is when there's wars, we think our country is always right, and our countries are good. And that's the way you should be thinking because you're on that side. But then that automatically makes the other country bad. So in a case like this, it's like, oh my God, Superman is Russian. He's a bad guy. No. But he's not. He's trying to do what he thinks is right for his people. Mm-hmm. And even in the movie, he rises up against Stalin and his own people because he realized they're doing things he doesn't agree with.
Yeah.
Which is what sets in motion all the craziness of the movie.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess maybe even now, if other countries look at us and our political leadership, I'm not going to go there, but I'm sure they probably think we're cray-cray the way our countries run too. Like, yeah. And I've actually had these conversations when I was traveling a lot and knew people from different countries. Like, they're like, well, what do you mean you can't just go to the doctor? I'm like, you can't go to the doctor. You have to have a copay. I mean, you can't just have surgery. So that's why, remember, I told you one time when we were going to Malaysia or one of those, he's like, just bring cash and do your physical here. It's cheaper. Yeah. So they were like, get your eyes checked, go to the dentist.
Yeah, they told me that when I was in Thailand, when my shoulder jacked up when I was training. They're like, well, if you planned, you could have had your surgery here and you would have had it and not paid anything. Or you would have paid very little out of pocket. I could have had my surgery that to this day I still haven't had.
Well, and I know people who, when we were traveling around doing this, they like someone
they booked their surgeries.
Someone had like a foot surgery there.
Because one of the people, the partners or whatever you work for, didn't one of them book their surgery after the conference?
Yeah. Because there's no way they were going to come here and do your dumb copay, and you still have to pay the anesthesiologist and the room. I mean, it's insane when you can do it so much cheaper in other countries. Yeah. I mean, that's why like people go to Mexico for heart surgery because it's like $500 or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous.
But we're talking about Superman Red Sun.
But that's why I'm saying, because Superman looks at the U.S. as just a bunch of crazy people. Like, why are y'all not doing what we're doing in Russia?
Like, well, and if you don't know what an Elseworlds stuff is from DC, I'm assuming you probably know what they are by now.
I get it now.
There are appearances of Wonder Woman and Batman, Green Lantern. Is there anybody else that I'm leaving out of Hero was? I think that's it.
My favorite.
Who? I already said that.
Did you? You said Wonder Woman. And
someone doesn't listen to a word I say. Anyway, there are new versions of them because if you don't know what an Elseworlds title is, DC used to put out these books that they would take the existing characters, put them in different universes, different time periods, different worlds. That way they didn't mess with the continuity of their existing books. So they did a bunch of Batman ones. One of my favorites was Gotham by Gaslight, which they did an animated movie.
Yeah.
Which was Batman hunting Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, that one I did like.
So anyway, that's what this movie is. The animation is awesome. It looks great. It's not the same animation or design, but it looks very similar to the other DC movies that have been coming out with like the Justice League and the Batman movies, but also a little bit of the Superman animated series vibe, even though it's its own little thing. It is definitely not a kids movie. It fully embraces its PG-13 rating.
Yeah,
it's got lots of action and violence. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure, I like all these movies, the animated ones, but this one I think was interesting to see the new take of Superman, then how the U.S. responds to it. Yes. And it kind of goes through history too, because you get to see the evolution of not only Superman, but also Lex Luthor, and Lois Lane.
Which
and how
I find
it's different.
interesting because, like I was telling you, Lex Luthor would be different if Superman did not exist because, he was all like, Superman's too dangerous.
There was actually a comic series that came out, I think called Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's what it's called. And the whole idea behind it was everything Superman's seen from the perspective of Lex Luthor. So you see why he considered and you actually would agree with him because you're seeing him say, okay, why is everybody okay with this person who's essentially a god running free and doing what he wants and nobody questions him and why he sees him as a threat? And it wasn't so much Lex Luthor is a bad guy, although he did a lot of shenanigan crap, but also, why he thinks that way. And then in the New 52 stuff, I think it was, Lex Luthor essentially became a good guy and became part of the Justice League. And so this I think was way before that. But it kind of encompasses a little of those elements all over the place. It is its own thing. It's not connected to the rest of the DC cinematic universe. It's its own animal. Did you like the take on Wonder Woman in this?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Just the way they did it.
And, because she was the thing that I do like about Wonder Woman, no matter what, is Wonder Woman remains unbiased between countries. Because Wonder Woman's just about the land of man and how men are always so destructive, no matter where you're from. That's always been her thing. It's like we had to keep the men over there, because they don't know how to live in peace. And her mission has always been peace and justice. And so that's one thing.
My mustache is tickling my nose. Sorry.
That's one thing that I did like about her. And I loved Batman, by the way.
The what?
Batman.
Oh, this version, the Russian Batman, is pretty awesome. You get like a little bit of an origin story of it that's a different kind, and his look, he has a very Russian look.
Yeah, it's so cool though. I love him, and I get it. And it's kind of the same argument we have with our Batman here and Superman, why he doesn't really like him.
Yeah.
I think kind of the same thing, that he is dangerous and.
Yeah, but this one had more of a personal.
Yeah, this one had an issue.
So anyway, so if you haven't checked it out, I think it's already on digital, but it'll hit Blu-ray and DVD and 4K this week, and I believe Movies Anywhere, download digital, whatever, which means it'll probably hit DC Universe this week, I believe, as well. I don't know how long they wait, but I think it kind of jumps on there at the release date. So if you have DC Universe, I think it'll be on there as well. So Superman Red Sun, check it out. It's awesome. Awesomeness.
Okay.
I didn't have anything else.
And everybody's saying read the graphic novel.
Yeah, the graphic novel is actually. I'm gonna go find it.
Everyone's saying it's so much better. So check
the graphic novel? Oh, I'm sure it is. They always are.
Yeah. All right. Next.
All right. So our final film is controversial.
Already?
Yeah, is controversial as it was supposed to come out September of last year, but because of the perception of what they thought the movie was. It got attacked by the president. It got attacked by the media, the one side of the media. Not everybody, just the side they thought was getting attacked in the movie. And then there was a school shooting at the time too, or some kind of shooting that actually made them end up pulling the film. And I was watching a thing with them recently, and they were actually saying at the time they thought it was ridiculous, but they get it now why it needed to wait, mostly from the school shooting stuff and that kind of thing. But anyway, we're talking about a movie called The Hunt.
Yes.
Which is, not only was it released finally, they fully embraced the controversy for their poster.
I love it.
With the posters filled with basically quotes of people why this movie is horrible, going to be bad for the world, and this and that. Even marks out the original date, puts on the new date, talks about the movie being so controversial, but it's a movie nobody's ever seen.
Yeah.
And what's funny is the producer Jason Blum he just said, he goes, had I been smart, I would have screened this movie to all those people, and so they could see what the movie actually was. Because the irony of the whole movie is it's a slap in the face social commentary of every side,
totally,
every topic, including it's the irony of this movie going through that, because that's what it's talking about.
It is talking about all the social injustice.
And it doesn't pick a side.
No.
That's what's so awesome, is it has characters to relate to every side, every thought, every feeling. So everybody is represented, good and bad, and it's showing the ridiculousness of both sides, and not just politics, sexism, racism, what else am I losing out?
Ageism.
Technology, age. Social media, everything.
It's everything. The military, the countries. I mean, it's political.
I guess it'd be kind of a stolen ballot, not really, but yes.
Yeah, kind of.
It's dealing with that, but not.
It's everything. And first of all, I think it's ridiculous that any movie should be pulled, honestly, because I don't think art should be censored. If you don't want to see it, don't see it.
Well, I agree with you from that standpoint.
I kind of.
But from a financial standpoint, I get it, because
I know you
when they put a movie out like that, if it's causing a problem, you're going to have twofold. You're going to have people that have to see it because they want the controversy, and the people that are going to boycott it. But they have to make money back, or then the whole thing was a waste of time, and it can close up businesses. But there was a sensitivity issue more because of the shooting that just happened that they felt.
Yeah, but it really had nothing to do with
it. That's why when he said he should have shown the movie, it would have got a better screen thing.
Yeah, because it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it was a totally different movie than I thought we were getting.
Yeah, for sure.
In the best way possible.
And it was actually fun.
I love this movie.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so we know people have been taken. They're being hunted. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, it's a very simple film. It's, if you've ever seen a movie of people getting the dangerous game, surviving the game, the crappy Hunger Games,
or the good Hunger Game,
Battle Royale, those are good Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Any movie like that, it's the same hard target.
It's the same thing, but my favorite scene, I think, is when they're trying to pick the people that they're going to take to put into the hunt.
Right.
And then they're going through, well, this guy is this and this guy. They're trying to pick who they think are your left,
the sleaziest people against the left side, I guess.
Super whatever side.
Yeah, because the people that are doing the hunting represent be the Republican type. Elite, the higher up in power or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
The other side represents the leftist or
what they just consider to be the trash people.
Yeah, because they don't all have the same beliefs.
No,
on the
not
other side.
At all. But they're just like, oh well.
Because you have one person who's like ex-military. You have one person that's a podcast guy. You have
but he was talking about the conspiracy theory guy.
You have another guy who's just he's a hunter.
Yeah.
You have another one who's just like, she's like a social media influencer.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre, but it's funny. They're all the people
they're all the people they don't think deserve to be famous or to know anything because their lives affected their lives is essentially what is going on.
And so they're going through picking people, and then they get to his slide and they show this black man. They're like, whoa, we can't pick a black guy. That would be rude. And the lady's like, they're not black, they're African American, and they deserve equality.
And there's another guy there who is
he's like Arab looking.
Arab.
He's like, hey, I'm
because I'm a person of color,
Yeah. So it's so funny because it's like, oh, you can't include black people. That's
there's another, and I think it's in the trailer.
It's so ridiculous.
There's a guy talking to another member, and he's saying something about you can't do this because it's drinking this, and they're like, that's not racism because so and so said it. And he goes, well, who said that? Who made that rule? And he goes, such and such did. And he goes, and what are the nationality of those people? And he goes, white people. He goes, white people are the worst. This was from a white guy because he's realizing that
white people are the worst.
So you have that. You have another moment of like a female moment where they're like, do you feel like you're being.
Do you think you deserve special treatment because you're a woman?
And she's like, no.
Okay.
But it's such clever of why he thinks you can't do that because of this. I don't want to tell you because it's a fun moment in the movie.
And I mean, it touches on everything. I mean, it touches on obviously race, and then there's one where it's like, oh my gosh, is this appropriation? Maybe I shouldn't do this. You know. So I mean, it touches on that idea where it's like you can't, you know, like Halloween costumes. It's like, oh no, that's appropriation, but at Halloween, it's okay. Yeah. I mean,
well, it's not nowadays.
It's not now. It's
it
like,
used
I don't
to
know
be
what to do.
All about everybody just dressing up as something they were a fan of or they liked. Sure, there was groups of people that did it to mock other people.
No, I do it
but it used to be like,
fun.
I just love Prince, so I want to dress up as Prince.
That's what I did.
You know, I love The Rock. I want to dress up as The Rock this year.
Last year, I dressed as my friend Nitty because I was pretending to be Indian.
And you can get away with it.
Was that appropriation?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Well, here's the thing: is you can. This is where the double-edged sword of that stuff is. Whereas if I dressed up as Nitty or her husband, it would have been a problem because now I'm acting like a new race. But because you're already a woman of color, you're dressing up. Even though you're Hispanic. Yeah. You're still a person of color dressing up like another person of color.
It's a whatchamacallit.
Yeah, it's like you could dress up. Most people would not be mad if you dressed up as a white person character, right? But if I dressed up as a Hispanic or a black person, I would be racist.
Yeah, for sure. See, that's why it's a double-edged. It's not.
It fair. Is. It's not across the board.
And that's what the whole movie is dealing with, and that's what people don't get. You're just thinking, oh, they're killing people. No. And
my favorite part of the movie is there's a big thing that I can't tell you because it's a big twist of the movie, but I'm also assuming you know who is who and who's doing what because you didn't really do your research.
It is such a smart movie though because with everything going on, it's kind of like a mystery.
Yeah, it's got a lot of twists and turns, and you don't know.
It's kind of like Clue, but
you don't know who's involved. You don't know.
It's Clue with guns.
Yeah, you don't know who's good. You know who's bad. There's some twists. There's some twists you'll see coming. There's other twists you won't see coming. And at the end of the day, it is just a blast of a movie with tons of blood, of violence, laughs. There's a lot of funny moments.
There are. It really is.
It's a dark.
It's a dark comedy,
satire, action movie.
Very much about just the political correctness that we have to go through every single day as humans.
Yeah, and the blood that's here is not like slasher level blood,
it's not
but it is over the top to the point of being ridiculous on some level, but on purpose.
And there's a lot of good people in this movie, man.
Yeah,
it's a really good
cast. Holtz, Emma Roberts, Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
What is the main girl's name? Betty Gilpin, is that her name?
Betty Gilpin.
From Nurse Jackie, which I hate her in Nurse Jackie, but she was actually really good in this.
Ethan Suplee. We see him.
Ethan Suplee, who is, if you don't know who Ethan Suplee is, he's no longer the chubby guy anymore. He's this beast of a man now, like bulked up and muscly wise. In the movie, he's still a little pudgy, but
it's fun. And then who's that one guy, the cute guy that's like in he's a
the guy from that was Arrow.
Yes,
in Smallville. No, that's not him. No. I just went blank. Scroll up because he's on This Is Us and stuff now.
Yeah, that guy.
Holy crap!
He's not there, but he's in the trailer. You see him. Anyways, there's lots of good people.
But what's also good about this movie is you do not know who's going to make it to what.
No.
Because there's a lot of moments.
There's so much happening.
And you're like, oh crap, and some shocking moments, and of course. Anybody that has watched this show before that knows that her favorite way of people to be killed on screen is getting run over, and we get some of that as well. So I thought the movie was a blast.
I did too. I thought it was good. So you should check it out.
Yeah, it's definitely one I think if you like crazy movies, this movie might end up on my top 10 list of the year.
Some social commentary.
Yeah, I think it's right now. I think it's in my top 10 for the year, but it's because I think it being so cleverly written.
It's very clever. It's very smart.
Just being fun and entertaining all at the same time. And it's short, so it doesn't waste a lot of time. It's like an hour and a half. Gets to the point, we move on.
There you go.
So The Hunt in theaters finally now.
Check it out.
All right. So the other plan today was going to be talking about our recap of AllCon. You could tell AllCon didn't go as planned because we don't look like we've been beaten for 4 days. Normally we're like... We're exhausted and we're tired, mildly hungover or sick or whatever would have happened that year. Yeah, con funk, whatever would happen this year. So she didn't get to attend any All-Con at all this year.
That's sad.
So here's essentially what happened. All-Con, our favorite convention of the year. We're big supporters of the show. We've been going to All-Con since their first year. The second year was the very first convention I ever set up as a artist, if that's what you want to call me. And we've been doing it ever since. I think this year was like what, 16, 17, 15, something 16. Like that, in the teens. So they do the show Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday being the free day. And so I set up all day on Thursday. Was chilling, doing my thing. It was fairly slow. We were getting into the coronavirus stuff, so I was surprised we were having the show still, but I was super excited. Because you
kept thinking it was going to get
I kept saying,
like,
my God,
days,
I hope this is going to get shut down. I hope it doesn't. You know, like we hit Thursday. I'm like, yes,
made it.
Got to the show, had a great day, hung out with some friends. I didn't have as much business, but I didn't really expect it to have as much. I figured at worst case we'd have the show, but it wouldn't have as many people. So I had finished my day, came home. Then I was working out at about 12:30, 12:45 at night. Well, I came home and taught my class, working out, and then the news came that because of the edict that Dallas County had, that I guess most people have now. I don't know. Is it nationwide now?
No.
Or is it just the areas that are now being affected? Okay. Anyway, they passed the thing where you couldn't have any gatherings of 500 or more people, or people over 60 or something like that, until March 20th, which is this Friday. So they were forced to shut down the convention. So essentially I had to go back there early Friday morning, and instead of setting up and enjoying the day, I had to just go pick up my banner, say goodbye, and All-Con was over like that in one day.
Yeah.
And now it's being deemed almost con.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people, like I said, we said at the beginning of the show, people continued, they were at the hotels hanging out, playing games, doing their thing. So some people still got their own version of the con, just a smaller version. I will say there was one event. Crazy things always happen, right?
Yes.
This is the first time I've ever seen this, and I was really sad that it happened at the time. Now I'm glad it happened because we had no other All-Con story. But the tables were way close together this time. Usually they were a little wider, but they were about this far apart, right? I had two concerns. One, just being that close to other people, not because of coronavirus, but because I get annoyed easily.
Yeah.
Two, you fitting your big old booty between those tables when you got there. Did you find it?
Yes.
So I was a little concerned. I'm like, oh my God, how's she gonna get there? So on either side of me, these people's tables, they had these like kind of tower built frames, you know, with all their stuff hanging on it or whatnot. And so the girl on this side of me, she was selling buttons and prints and all that kind of stuff. Very nice lady. Her friend was going to come and sit down next to her. So she was going to have to come between. I don't know why she didn't let her, because she was on the end corner. So she could have just moved over and let her sit down. But for whatever reason, maybe she had her stuff set up and couldn't do it. I don't know. She was cutting between my table and the other girl. And she's wearing like this big steampunk type dress. So when she starts coming between the table, I see her little, you know, the little bustier part that sticks out the back. It's not a bustier, but the little puff
the puffy
of the dress. Thing. It hit part of the on my table. And I had like this little sign, but it wasn't even displayed. It was behind everything. So it knocked it off and it flew at me, right? I was in there drawing. I'm like, I got this little plastic sign flying at me. But before I could even say, you know, anything about it, not that I was saying any word because I knew she didn't even know she did it.
Yeah.
Before I could say whoops, oops, whatever, she clipped that other girl's table and everything came down. Like it looked like.
Was it like the metal stand thing?
Yes, on either side, but they weren't square. They were like angled like this, right?
No.
And it went like this. It went up and down on either side, and it was filled with buttons and prints. So when she hit it, one started to go, and she reached up to try to catch it, but as she did, it tilted just enough that the thing went twisted, and everything came down on top of the girl sitting underneath it at her table. So she's kind of sitting in like an arch. The whole thing came down. And I'm drawing again, right? And all I hear is, and I'm talking to two people, Steven and his girlfriend. I'm talking to him, and we see it happen as it's happening, right? But there's nothing we can do to stop it because I couldn't reach to help her because the girl is now standing this close to me, right? If I'd reached out, I would have gone right up her dress. We would have had a whole nother issue, but it would have been a normal All-Con at that point. But that thing came down. I shit you not. That thing came down buttons went like this up in the air. It looked like in the Lego movie with water, but they're Legos. It was buttons and prints were flying out. All the other tables, people were like looking around. It's like this loud crash explosion. The other lady's underneath it, like the tower is collapsing on top of her. And all I could do is go, yee. I went back to drawing like I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Like, and the lady on this side who had a similar tower, she's like, grabbed her like she didn't know if it was an earthquake or what happened.
That's funny.
And I was like, she's like, what happened? I'm like, because I was trying not to say it out loud because I'm like, they're probably both pissed off. And now I'm like, are we about to have a fight? Is this other lady about to scream?
You always go straight into fight mode.
I'm like, when somebody knocks your entire setup down on top of your head, sometimes you react. Like I don't get mad when people knock my stuff over. I'm just like, hey, be careful, please. And I'll reset it.
Yeah.
But that was like a destruction of the table. Wow. The only thing that didn't go down was the table itself. And so then there was no yelling. It was very calm. They rebuilt it all.
Man.
And so I talked to her a little bit later. She goes, she was my best friend. And as soon as she did it, she knew she did it. She was like, I saw in her face that she was like, oh my God. And I said, did it damage anything? She goes, it bent a couple of the prints, but they weren't ones I was selling anyway. They were just display prints. So everything was fine. So that was the biggest excitement other than it getting shut down and being depressing.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to restart our Cheez-It cult this year we had plans for.
Yeah.
My buddy Scott, who was one of the few times of the year, if at all, that I get to see him was All-Con. Thankfully, he made the decision to not drive in from Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because of school stuff with the coronavirus. Because he would have come in for nothing. I would have felt really bad for him.
Yeah.
I felt bad already that he couldn't come. But we did have other friends that came in too. But at least we got to go have dinner with them and kind of hang out a little bit. And then they run around doing some other stuff. So hopefully they still had a good anniversary weekend.
Okay.
So anyway, All-Con has also, because of it, having to shut down, obviously they lose a lot of money with the refunds and everything else. I don't know if you can find the link to the GoFundMe that was up. I think I shared it. Somebody started a GoFundMe recovery fund for All-Con. I shared it on my page if you want to find it on my page.
Hold on.
My page. My page is my name. No. There's an actual GoFundMe page.
Okay.
That's not it. Go to my page.
Okay.
My page. I'm Bobby. My name is not All-Con. Somebody started a GoFundMe to help recoup costs for them to be able to have this show next year or not on Hollywood Matrimony and Bobby. There it is right there.
You need to stop.
So if you can either share it out, she'll share it on the thing, but if you can either share it out or just donate if you can. We want to keep the show alive. We love the show. It's run by individuals, so it's something that relies on how well this show did this year to move to the next year, and I think they're going to try to do some other stuff. So even if you can't donate, at least share it out. We can see if we can help them out a little bit.
And then I also shared a link to their Facebook page. If you scroll down, there's a post where all the vendors and artists have posted links to their stuff so you can help them because they obviously didn't get to sell anything this weekend.
And I give props.
And I was just wanting to go buy soaps from the soap guy, so now I got his website.
Well, I give props to All-Con because they shared that. Somebody there shared it and said, hey, we know our vendors lost a lot of money from sales.
Yes.
Post your websites here so y'all can still maybe get some sales that could drive traffic.
Yeah.
So, if you weren't able to go to All-Con, if you've never gone to All-Con, go over there and look at what people have to sell.
There you go.
You might find something you want to buy.
Yeah, I'm buying some soap.
She buys soap for some weird reason.
Because he makes good soap.
Are you buying cedar soap?
That's the tray to put the soap on.
Oh.
So that it lasts longer. But I'm going to buy some soaps. I want the 50 Shades of Grey.
What we're doing is normally today we would have hosted Superhero Sunday.
Yes.
And during our Superhero Sunday contest, we give out tickets and we give away a ton of prizes and whatnot, Blu-rays, DVDs, and things like this. So in honor of it being that's supposed to happen today, it is not, and now I have a big box of stuff that I got to get rid of. Yeah. I don't have to get rid of it, but I want to.
Yeah.
If you go and like our Hollywood Matrimony Facebook page and our YouTube channel, then go to our website, send us an email. I will send you a list of what we have, and you can pick an item from the list while supplies last, and we will send it to you. That is all you have to do.
Okay.
You can share it to anybody you want. You can tell them the same thing. There's on my page. I think on the Hollywood Matrimony page, I think I put it on there, didn't I?
Yeah.
And on the All-Con page, I put it on there. So literally subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the Facebook page, send us an email through the website. That way you had to go to 3 different places of ours. That helps us out a little bit. because we aren't getting any promotion at the show now. And then, like I said, we have anything from digital codes of Marvel movies and DC movies. We got Blu-rays and DVDs of TV show seasons, movies, some stuff, giveaway stuff we've had on the show on the website that ended, and we had extra ones purposely saved for AllCon.
Yep.
So I have stuff like Joker on 4K. I have Bumblebee on 4K. I have Simpsons season 11, I think it is. I've got South Park season 22. Tons of stuff. So just go on there if you want to try to win something or not win something. You can just pick it. You don't have to do anything to win it. It's first come, first serve.
There you go.
And I've already got people emailing in, so I've already got a stack of stuff I got to mail out.
There you go. So. Superhero Sunday.
That's right.
Still going on.
Still going to happen somehow, some way.
All right.
All right.
Do you have a theater experience? Because we've been missing those. I have one. It might be the same one.
I don't think I really do.
When we went to go see Bloodshot, we went to a nice screening. And my nemesis was there.
You're just going to talk about him?
Yeah. And he was like, so, first of all, he doesn't like anything. So I don't know why he goes to see movies. I know he's not going to like it. But the movie did start a few minutes late.
Oh, that was funny.
And he was just beside himself.
You have to remember, he's an older man. Wears the same outfit every time he's there. He's in khakis.
He's sitting there. Don't give too much detail. He'll know who he is.
I don't give a crap about that guy.
He was sitting there and he's like... And then, so that was then. But what you missed when you went to the bathroom and to get water and stuff before...
Well, hold on. On that same note... The screen has like a big banner kind of on it of Bloodshot and the hashtags and all that stuff. So you always know the movie's going to start because that turns off.
Right.
And then the movie starts, right? So it turns off and he's like, sits back and now he's getting ready to watch it. And then it came back on. He goes, he was so mad. It was so funny. It was like somebody was watching and he goes, ha ha. Anyway, so go ahead.
Well, before then, they were talking about watching the movie The Banker, which, you had to download the program to play the movie.
Yeah, because they said it's a digital screener.
And then you had to log in.
Yeah. So which is how most online screening services work now.
Yes, they're on a server and you have to log in. So we did it. It was weird at first to try, but you got it.
It took me a while just because I didn't have the player.
Yeah, so you had to download
I already had an account, but I didn't have the updated player, so I had to download the updated player.
And so then later, I needed to finish watching the movie, so I just logged in on my phone, downloaded the app, and I logged in with your email or whatever they gave us. That's it. It was fine. No, he went on and on about how difficult it was, and that was bull, and he emailed them back, and he's like, no, this is not the way you treat people when you want them to watch your movie. I am not going to watch it on this platform. So I guess
he didn't see it then, right?
He didn't watch it, no, because he couldn't figure out how to download and install.
Well, he was probably either doing it from his flip phone or his Commodore 64 computer.
I guess so. He's just an annoying little man. And sir, I'm sorry.
No one apologize. He's a jerk.
He is a jerk. He's very rude to people.
Is. He's also one of those, and even more so now, that if you cough or anything near him, he'll look at you like this. Like a couple of years ago, I had this really bad cough that I could not get rid of, to the point where I thought my vocal cords were actually damaged. It was going to be a permanent cough thing. And I was sitting up like 2 rows up from him, and there was nobody else around us, right? And so I have a habit of every time we go to the movies, no matter what I get, I always get 2 cups of water, specifically not for thirst, in case my cough issue starts kicking up.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, as from years of being sick, if it's allergies. I got kicked in the throat one time when I was younger, and I've always had a clearing throat issue. And so periodically I'm always kind of going, and so I know it can be annoying. So I always bring the 2 water cups, so that if I feel like it's getting there, I try to cover my mouth. I try to keep my cough internals. But sometimes you get coughs that you can't help it. They come out no matter what you do. See, ironically.
There you go.
And he'll always I remember I was sitting there and I kind of coughed. One time I coughed, and he's like, And so I was like, that bitch was staring at me because I coughed. I sit there for a minute longer. Movie wasn't even playing. We were sitting in silence. I coughed again, and he makes a deeper. He's one of those. He does a deeper turn because he wants to make sure he's looking at you. And so that was my confrontation day with him, because you had the other one about not getting past him that time, and I was like, what? And he kind of looks at me for a minute, and then he realizes I'm not going to back down from him. And then he turns back, and then he didn't look back at me again.
No, we had a little yelling thing, or I yelled at him.
You yelled at him, but he didn't even acknowledge you, like, because I think he's delusional. He's a jerk.
He's a jerk.
Big time.
You're a jerk, sir.
And he wears white tennis shoes, khaki pants, and a button-up shirt every time. He's like Matlock. He has one outfit.
Pretty much.
And I really don't care if he knows who I'm talking about.
All right. Well, there you go.
If he's got a problem, we'll sell it.
You're a joke.
We'll settle it at the next screening. We ain't got no movies to watch. Let's do it.
Say something. Anyways, okay, that's all.
We try not to sit near him.
Try not to. Sometimes it can't be avoided.
Yeah, sometimes it gets
I do try to avoid it as much as possible.
She's always, oh, no.
I was like, I ain't sitting down there.
So I have to tell her to be quiet because we get stuck with him next to him sometimes. And she's like, oh, this guy. And I'm like, honey, shh.
Sorry.
But
whatever.
You know, we all have those people. So anyway, that's it.
That's all. I gotta see what's coming out. I'm over here just talking bad about people.
Oh, let me tell you what comes out this week and talk bad about people. We haven't had to talk about everybody in a while. All right. So this week we got all kinds of fun things happening on the Blu-ray and the DVD. What is this week? It's the 17th.
Yes.
Yes. So we've got the Superman Red Son that we talked about tonight. We have a movie called A Hidden Life, the new Terrence Malick movie, which we should be able to talk about next week because I think it's supposed to be showing up in the mail. I was told it would. Black Christmas, the new remake, not the other remake of Black Christmas that we've talked about on this show, comes out on Blu-ray. Richard Jewell is hitting Blu-ray this week. We might revisit that movie because I've seen it yet.
Yeah.
And I'd like to discuss it with you because I had to talk about it by myself. And since there might not be anything new to go check out, we may have to revisit some other things. Jumanji: The Next Level is coming out on Blu-ray and 4K and whatnot. And I think I think it's under Wellgo, has a new movie called Abigail coming out. And I think those are the pretty big ones this week.
Well, it's unfortunate because everything's getting canceled right now, or delayed. So there's not really anything coming out in wide release.
Now, this week was supposed to be A Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, that's got delayed.
That got pulled.
The only thing really that everybody's going to be able to find is nothing. Limited. There's a movie coming out on Prime Video called Blow the Man Down. Don't know what that's even about. And everything else is limited release. So there's not really anything. So stay home and watch the movies, I guess.
But have no fear, we will have something to talk about next week.
Oh, for sure.
We'll somehow, some way figure out a way to talk about something.
On Hulu or
So let me ask you this one question. Since the talk of the town is people having to self-quarantine, not be able to get out and watching movies, I want you to tell me if you had to watch one movie and binge watch one TV show, what would they be?
If I only had
in your quarantine time, you can only get one movie.
Can it be one movie or a series?
One movie, a single movie. It could be the single movie from that series. But it'll be a single movie or one TV show, and one TV show you can binge watch.
Oh, well, you know that's easy.
Oh, I know, but I'm just asking.
What do you think I'm going to say?
For your TV show? Buffy.
I would watch Buffy from beginning to end all over because I've been wanting to do it and I haven't been able to.
Okay.
And the movie that I would watch, there's so many good ones. I don't know if I should pick Chef or G.I. Jane.
Did you say G.I. Joe?
G.I. Jane. I don't know. What would I pick? Oh my gosh. I can only pick one movie to go with.
Thankfully, this isn't really going to happen right now because we've got a plethora.
Oh, I know, but
even if all of our streaming services died, we've got plenty of things to watch.
I'll probably watch Chef.
Think you'd watch Chef again?
Yeah, because I love that little movie. It's so good.
It's a great movie.
Okay.
Now, I asked you this question with no preparation.
Oh.
Because I don't have anything loaded either. So, I think at TV, I don't ever re-binge watch TV shows.
Yeah, you never watch anything twice.
Matter of fact, as of right now, re-watching with my workout cardio time, I've been re-watching Clone Wars and that kind of stuff. But it was only because I was preparing to watch the new season. So this might be the first show I've ever binge watched the second time.
Yeah.
But I think if I had one show that I'd have to binge watch just during a quarantine time, I think I would go back and watch Sons of Anarchy again. The show is so good every possible way. I think there's like 6-7 seasons that take me quite a while. Although I don't know if my heart can take it again.
Yeah.
Anyway, movie-wise, I don't know.
You have so many.
You know what? There's one movie that I love, and it's an acquired taste, and I have not watched it in years. and I would probably watch it because I could watch it as many times because I'm entertained by it. I'd probably watch Natural Born Killers.
I don't know why you like that movie.
I love that movie. The movie is so good. It's too much. You got Oliver Stone with a screenplay from Quentin Tarantino. You got a great cast. You got bizarreness, awesomeness, weirdness. I love that movie.
Weird.
And it's a movie I do not think I own anymore on Blu-ray.
No, what happened to it?
Or DVD. I think I had it on VHS.
Oh.
And I don't think I've ever gotten it on DVD.
Huh.
That needs to change because that was one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And when my VHS collection went away, I think that movie went away and I never replaced it.
That's too bad.
I'll have to look. Actually, you know what? I think I do have it on DVD. I think it's in one of the clip cases.
No, maybe.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
I might have to watch it now.
Tell us what your quarantine shows will be this week.
If you want to post on there, tell us a TV show you'd binge watch and one movie you'd watch during quarantine time.
Yeah.
Then we don't start asking me how long am I quarantined and where am I quarantined. Just you're at your house and this is how much time you have. Okay, get over it.
All right.
Everything makes so
thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Thank you for watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitter. As always, go to the website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. Check out the contest button. And don't forget, we're still doing Superhero Sunday. So if you send us an email, if you do all the stuff you're supposed to do, and then send us an email, we will send you a free prize.
And I'll send you a list to choose from, so it won't be a surprise prize. You can tell me what you want.
There you go. What you really want?
What you really, really want.
Okay, there you go.
Don't forget to join me tomorrow for another episode of Martial Arts Movie Mondays. I've already got the movie picked out, so I got to make sure I watch it. But because my classes are canceled, I have more time. I don't have to rush into it like I normally have to. And then Tuesday will be for another episode of TV Tuesdays, which hopefully we'll be able to do that one.
Normal time.
Everything's happening Wednesday this week. Never mind. So TV Tuesday should be fine.
New furniture.
We got new furniture. We got other things being installed and all kinds of nonsense happening on Wednesday. Anyway, another episode of TV Tuesdays where I have more stuff to talk about. And then we'll be right back here for all new episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live, where we have no idea what we're going to talk about. Well, we're going to find something. Don't you worry.
We will find something to talk about.
And last episode of TV Tuesday, we were talking about Ultraman. And so if you saw that episode, we'll go into the other part I want to talk about then. But did you see that I passed on, or did you see that I passed on you a link of that put out like sweats of Ultraman now?
Yes, I know what you're getting for Christmas.
There's two versions though. The one I shared you, and then I saw a different version. The other different version was actually the better one.
Okay.
Yeah, the one I sent you, I think, had blue in it.
Yeah.
This one's like the old school. The other one I found. So if you go on there. I don't know if I could actually wear that and pull that look off.
Okay.
So I think I'd look like some kind of a weird hip hop guy.
Maybe.
Anyway, it's a whole sweat outfit, like pants and just pull over hoodie, but it looks like Ultraman, and I'd have to run around like this to everybody.
Weird.
Anyway, but make sure hit subscribe to this. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you go over there and subscribe to the Hollywood Matrimony Facebook page and send us your emails, and we'll send you some fun stuff. We thank you as always. Everybody be safe out there. Find some toilet paper, keep it in, and make sure instead of hoarding all the bacterial soap, find something that's viral because that's not going to help you.
All right. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Peace and love. We'll see you on the other side, people.